The last line of defense. The neural interface hummed to life as Commander Sarah Chen settled into the command chair of the HSS Thunderchild. Earth's most advanced warship hung in high orbit, its quantum arrays gathering data from the vast emptiness of space. The ship's sleek obsidian hull absorbed nearly all electromagnetic radiation, making it almost invisible against the star-filled backdrop. Status report, Sarah commanded, her eyes scanning the holographic displays that surrounded her chair. The bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency, their neural interfaces allowing them to process information faster than any human in history. All systems nominal, reported Lieutenant Marcus Wong from the engineering station. Quantum core stable at 98.9% efficiency. Shield harmonics are synchronized. The Thunderchild represented humanity's greatest achievement, a warship built not from fear, but from the determination to protect Earth's independence in an unknown universe. They had discovered the quantum slip drive 5 years ago, but unlike other species who rushed to announce their presence to the galaxy, humanity had chosen a more cautious approach. Their caution proved prescient when the first alien signals were detected, not messages of peace, but encrypted military communications. For 3 years, Earth's best minds had worked in secret, building defenses and preparing for the inevitable. The inevitable arrived on a Tuesday. Multiple quantum signatures detected, called out Lieutenant Jessica Patel from the sensor station. Her dark eyes widened as data streamed through her neural interface. Massive objects emerging from slit space. Commander, I've never seen energy readings like these. Sarah's neural interface fed her the raw data. The objects were ships, warships, each one larger than anything humanity had ever constructed. They emerged from quantum slit space like leviathans, breaching the ocean's surface, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence. Counting 37 vessels, Jessica continued. Their energy signatures suggest weaponry we can't even begin to understand. They're arranging themselves in an orbital blockade formation. Sarah's jaw tightened. They had trained for this, but the reality of first contact being a potential invasion force made her blood run cold. Communications, any transmissions? Channel opening now, replied Communications Officer David Rivera. They're broadcasting on all frequencies, using some kind of universal translator. The main holoscreen flickered to life, revealing a being that defied human expectations. It appeared almost crystalline, with fractal patterns shifting across its surface like living mathematics. When it spoke, its voice resonated with harmonics that seemed to bypass their ears and speak directly to their minds. Humans of Earth, the being announced, I am Supreme Commander Xylith of the Galactic Concordat. Your civilization has been evaluated and found wanting. Your species' predisposition toward violence, your rapid technological advancement, and your unpredictable nature make you a threat to galactic stability. Sarah stood, her neural interface feeding her tactical options even as she faced the alien commander. This is Commander Sarah Chen of the HSS Thunderchild. We have made no aggressive moves toward any alien civilization. We seek only to protect our independence and sovereignty. Independence is an illusion that leads to chaos. Xylith responded. The Concordat maintains order through unity and submission. You will surrender your military capabilities, accept our governance, and undergo species-wide behavioral modification. Resistance will result in your extinction. You have 12 Earth hours to comply. The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Sarah's neural interface highlighted multiple targeting locks from the alien vessels. They weren't taking any chances with Earth's single visible warship. Orders, Commander? Marcus asked, his hands hovering over the engineering controls. Sarah smiled, but there was no humor in it. Send the signal to Fleet Command. Operation Hydra is now active. Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum signatures began to emerge. In the asteroid belt, beneath the surface of Mars, in the clouds of Venus, and in the shadows of Jupiter's moons, humanity's real fleet waited. The Thunderchild was never meant to be Earth's last line of defense. It was meant to be the bait. "The Concordat thinks they know humanity," Sarah said, watching as her neural interface showed hundreds of human ships decloaking across the solar system. "They see our violence, but not our courage. They see our technology, but not our creativity. They see our unpredictability as a weakness, never realizing it's our greatest strength." The Thunderchild's quantum core hummed to full power as Sarah gave the order that would change the course of human history. "Battle stations. Show them why humanity named its first warship after a thunderstorm." The next 12 hours would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the nature of humanity's first step onto the galactic stage. As Sarah Chin prepared to lead humanity's defense, she knew one thing with absolute certainty. The Galactic Concordat was about to learn that threatening Earth was the biggest mistake they could have made. Hidden strengths. The quantum displays aboard the HS Thunderchild blazed with tactical data as Commander Sarah Chin watched the Concordat fleet's response to humanity's revelation. Their perfect blockade formation wavered as hundreds of human vessels emerged from hiding, like sharks circling in deep waters. Concordat vessels adjusting formation. Lieutenant Puddle reported, her neural interface processing the sensor data in real time. "They're confused. Their communication channels are flooded with urgent transmissions." Supreme Commander Thyleth's crystalline face appeared again on the main display, fractal patterns swirling with what Sarah's interface interpreted as agitation. "This deception proves our point, humans. You hide your true nature, waiting to strike. Surrender now, or face immediate elimination." Sarah's response was to activate the Thunderchild's quantum warfare suite. "Lieutenant Wong, initiate Protocol Prometheus." Marcus's fingers danced across his console as the ship's quantum core channeled power in ways the Concordat had never seen. Years of studying their encrypted transmissions had taught humanity more than the aliens realized. The Thunderchild began broadcasting on frequencies that seemed random but carried hidden purpose. Across the solar system, human ships executed a maneuver that defied conventional space combat tactics. Instead of maintaining formation, they scattered in what appeared to be chaos. The Concordat fleet's targeting systems, designed to predict logical battle patterns, struggled to track the seemingly random movements. "They're firing," Jessica announced as brilliant beams of energy lanced out from the alien vessels. But the human ships, guided by their neural-linked pilots, moved like schools of fish evading predators. Each dodge seemed impossible until the moment it happened. "Now," Sarah commanded, "show them what human unpredictability really means." The scattered human fleet suddenly pulsed with synchronized quantum signatures. The space between their ships warped and twisted as they executed humanity's greatest technological achievement, the quantum mesh network. Each ship became a node in a vast, interconnected web of consciousness, their neural-linked crews sharing thoughts and reactions at the speed of quantum entanglement. "Concordat vessels are detecting the quantum fluctuations," Marcus reported. "Their shields are adapting, but they don't understand what they're adapting to." Sarah smiled. "They're looking for a weapon. They don't realize we're not attacking their ships. We're attacking their certainty." The quantum mesh filled local space with a field of probability fluctuations. Within this field, human ships could partially exist in multiple positions simultaneously, making their movements truly unpredictable. The Concordat's advanced targeting systems, based on logical prediction algorithms, began to fail spectacularly. "Their fire control is degrading," Jessica reported with barely contained excitement. "Hit ratio dropping below 20%, below 10%. The crystalline face of Tyleth appeared again, but now the fractal patterns showed clear signs of distress. "What sorcery is this? Your technology cannot possibly." "Can't it?" Sarah interrupted. "You judged us by our past, by our violence, by our divisions. You never asked why we evolved to be unpredictable, why we value individual thought over collective certainty. You never wondered if there might be strength in chaos." The human fleet's movements became even more erratic as the quantum mesh reached full power. Ships seemed to flicker in and out of existence, appearing where physics said they couldn't be, moving in ways that made the Concordat's tactical computers crash, trying to calculate possibilities. "They're losing formation cohesion," Marcus announced. "The quantum fluctuations are affecting their ship-to-ship coordination." Sarah nodded. This was the critical moment. "All ships, execute attack pattern Dionysus." The scattered human fleet suddenly moved with impossible coordination. Each ship fired quantum torpedoes, weapons that didn't so much damage shields as temporarily divorce them from probability itself. Where they struck, Concordat shields simply ceased to exist for crucial microseconds. "Multiple direct hits," Jessica called out. 5 Concordat vessels showing critical system failures. 3 more have lost weapons capability. Their formation is breaking. The massive alien ships, each one dwarfing their human counterparts, began to move in contradiction to each other. Some tried to maintain their disciplined formation, while others attempted to adapt to the chaos. In doing so, they created gaps in their defenses that hadn't existed before. "Commander," David interrupted, his voice urgent. "I'm detecting new transmissions, not from the Concordat command ships. These are coming from their support vessels. They're using completely different encryption." Sarah's neural interface highlighted the anomalous communications. "Can you decode them?" "Working on it, yes. Commander, these aren't Concordat crews. They're slaves. Conquered species forced to serve in the Concordat fleet. And they're watching us fight back." The implications hit Sarah like a physical force. This wasn't just about defending Earth anymore. They weren't just showing the Concordat that humanity couldn't be conquered. They were showing every subjugated species in the galaxy that the impossible was possible. "All ships," she commanded, her voice carrying across the quantum mesh to every neural-linked crew member in the fleet, "push the advantage. Let's give the galaxy something it hasn't seen in a long time: hope." The human fleet surged forward, their quantum-enabled chaos now a symphony of coordinated destruction. They weren't just fighting for Earth's freedom anymore. They were fighting to shatter the chains of an empire built on the false promise of perfect order. The turning point. The quantum mesh network hummed with tension as Commander Sarah Chen processed the encrypted transmissions from the subjugated species within the Concordat fleet. Through their neural interfaces, her crew began decoding messages that would change the nature of the conflict entirely. "Commander, we're receiving clear transmissions from at least 7 different species aboard the Concordat vessels," David reported, his voice tight with excitement. "They're asking for direct communication channels." The main holoscreen split into multiple sections, each showing a different alien representative. A serpentine being with iridescent scales, a humanoid covered in bioluminescent markings, a creature that seemed to be made of living smoke. All watched Sarah with what her neural interface interpreted as desperate hope. "I am Shareth of the Viper Collective," the serpentine being announced. "For 3 centuries, we have served as the Concordat's unwilling warriors. What we just witnessed, it should not be possible. Their control is absolute. Their technology is supreme. And yet, you proved them wrong," the bioluminescent humanoid interjected, patterns of light flowing across their skin. "I am Zara K of the Lumini. We have waited generations for someone to show that the Concordat's perfect order could be broken." Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. How many of you are there? How many species serve against their will? "Dozens," the smoke being rippled. "We are the Nebulons. Our people were the first to fall to the Concordat's unity campaign. They keep us divided, serving on different ships, never allowed to coordinate or communicate freely." The quantum mesh suddenly lit up with new data as hidden transmitters activated throughout the Concordat fleet. Ships that had appeared to be retreating were actually maneuvering into positions that exposed critical weaknesses in the Concordat's formation. "Multiple Concordat command ships are reporting internal disturbances," Jessica announced, her neural interface streaming tactical updates. "Their enslaved crew members are. They're rising up." Supreme Commander Xylith's face appeared on a separate screen, its crystalline features now chaotic with rage. This treachery will not stand. All servant species will be terminated and replaced. The order of the Concordat cannot be challenged by. The transmission cut off abruptly as the Lumini crew aboard Sylith's flagship disabled their communications array. Across the battlefield, more Concordat systems began failing as their subjugated crew members seized control. All human vessels, hold positions, Sarah commanded. Let's not fire on potential allies. The space battle transformed into something unprecedented. Concordat ships turned their weapons on each other as internal control shifted between loyal forces and rebellious crew. The quantum mesh adapted, incorporating data from the rebelling ships to coordinate their actions. "Commander," Marcus called out, "the Viper collective ships are transmitting their shield frequencies. The Lumini are sharing command codes. The Nebulons, they're showing us how to bypass Concordat security protocols." Sarah watched as decades of carefully maintained control crumbled in minutes. The Concordat had built its empire on the assumption that its subjected species could never unite, never coordinate effectively enough to pose a threat. But humanity's quantum mesh network changed everything. It gave them a way to communicate and coordinate instantly, breaking through centuries of enforced isolation. "This is more than a battle now." Sarah addressed her crew and the growing number of alien allies joining their network. "This is a revolution." The Concordat thought they could judge humanity for our chaos, our individuality, our defiance. Instead, we'll show them that these aren't weaknesses, they're the keys to freedom. Through the quantum mesh, strategies and tactics flowed freely between species that had never been allowed to communicate before. Each brought unique perspectives and abilities. The Viper Collective's expertise in shield harmonics, the Lumini's mastery of energy systems, the Nebulon's ability to infiltrate and sabotage. All forces, Sarah broadcast across the now expanded quantum network. Prepare for coordinated assault. The Concordat wanted order through submission. Let's show them a new kind of order, one built on cooperation, not control. As the combined fleet prepared to strike, Sarah felt the weight of history through her neural interface. Humanity's first major galactic conflict had become something far greater, a catalyst for freedom that would reshape the galaxy itself. The real battle was just beginning, and this time, they weren't fighting alone. Revolution's dawn. Space itself seemed to shudder as the combined fleet of humans and liberated species launched their assault on the remaining Concordat loyalist ships. The quantum mesh network had evolved into something unprecedented, a symphony of different species' consciousness working in perfect harmony while maintaining their individual natures. Multiple Concordat command ships attempting emergency quantum jumps. Jessica reported, her neural interface processing the chaotic battlefield data. The Nebulon crews have sabotaged their drive systems. They're not going anywhere. Through the mesh network, Sarah watched as centuries of Concordat control unraveled. The Viper collective ships moved with impossible grace, their natural understanding of fluid dynamics making them perfect strike craft. Lumini vessels pulsed with concentrated energy weapons, their bioluminescent crews literally becoming one with their ship's power systems. Sylith's flagship is making a final stand, Marcus announced. They've activated some kind of failsafe system. Energy readings are off the charts. The massive Concordat flagship's crystalline surface began to glow with building power. Sarah's neural interface flashed warnings. They were witnessing the activation of a weapon meant to maintain control through absolute fear. They're powering up a quantum cascade device. Shreth's voice hissed through the network. It will tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. Rather than lose control, they would destroy everything. Sarah's mind raced through options, the quantum mesh amplifying her thoughts and sharing them instantly with all allied vessels. The Thunderchild's quantum core. Could we use it to contain the cascade? Impossible. Zerakay's bioluminescent patterns flashed with concern. The energy required would be. Nothing is impossible. Sarah interrupted. That's what this whole battle has proven. Marcus, prepare to redirect all power to the quantum core. We're going to turn their weapon of control into a tool of liberation. The Thunderchild moved forward, its obsidian hull reflecting the growing light from Xylith's flagship. Through the mesh network, Sarah coordinated with every allied ship. The Viper collective vessels formed a precise formation, their shields harmonizing to create a containment field. Lumini ships linked their energy systems, ready to channel and redirect power. They're starting the cascade. Jessica's voice was tense as her sensors registered the building quantum distortion. Now, Sarah commanded. The Thunderchild's quantum core pulsed with power as every allied ship contributed their energy. The combined shield bubble created by the Viper Collective contained the initial blast, while Lumini energy specialists redirected the quantum cascade. The Nebulon crews, existing partially as energy themselves, flowed through ship systems to maintain stability. Human neural interfaces coordinated it all, their natural adaptability allowing them to process and adjust tactics in real time. Space itself seemed to hold its breath as the quantum energies reached their peak. Then, something remarkable happened. Instead of destruction, the contained cascade created a new kind of quantum field, one that freed rather than controlled. The Concordat's quantum control protocols, David reported in awe. They're disintegrating. Every suppression system, every forced loyalty program. It's all failing. Through the quantum mesh, Sarah felt the moment of liberation ripple across the fleet. Centuries of technological oppression shattered in an instant, transformed by the combined will of multiple species working together. Xylith's face appeared one final time on the command screen, its crystalline features cracking with disbelief. This cannot be. Order must be maintained. Control must be absolute. You never understood, Sarah responded, her voice carrying the weight of every freed species. True strength doesn't come from control. It comes from chaos and order working together, from individuals choosing to unite rather than being forced to submit. The Concordat flagship's lights flickered and died as its crew finally broke free of all control systems. Across the battlefield, liberated ships celebrated their first moments of true freedom in centuries. Sarah stood on the Thunderchild's bridge, watching through both her eyes and the quantum mesh as history was made. Humanity's first major galactic battle had become something far more. The beginning of a new age of cooperation and freedom. All ships, she broadcast across the now truly unified fleet, prepare for the next phase. The Concordat's empire spans galaxies. What we did here today, we'll need to do again and again until every species is free to choose their own path. The response came back through the quantum mesh, not in words, but in feelings of determination and unity. Together, they had proven that the greatest power in the universe wasn't control or submission, but the choice to stand together against oppression. The revolution had begun, and it would reshape the galaxy one star system at a time. A new galaxy. 3 months after the Battle of Earth, Commander Sarah Chen stood in the newly constructed Galactic Unity Center on Luna. Through the vast quantum glass windows, Earth shone like a blue jewel, while ships of dozens of different species moved through space around it. The quantum mesh network had evolved into something far greater than a military tool. Now it served as the foundation of a new kind of galactic community, one built on voluntary cooperation rather than forced submission. The latest reports from the Outer Rim are encouraging. Shreth announced to the gathered council. The Viper Collective leaders' scales shifted with pleased colors as they displayed the data. 3 more Concordat control systems have been liberated. Their former subjects are already integrating into our network. Zerakay's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with agreement. The Lumini Deep Space Scouts have confirmed that the Concordat's remaining forces are fragmenting. Without their control protocols and subjected species, their power base is collapsing. Sarah studied the galactic map hovering in the center of the chamber. Red markers showing Concordat control were being steadily replaced by green indicators of liberated systems. But this wasn't just about winning a war. It was about building something new. The quantum mesh has evolved beyond our initial expectations. Marcus reported from his position as head of the new Human Alliance Engineering Corps. Each species adds their own unique perspectives and abilities. The Nebulon's energy state computing has revolutionized our processing capabilities. The Viper Collective's fluid dynamics expertise has transformed our understanding of spacetime itself. And humanity's adaptability continues to surprise us. The smoky form of the Nebulon Elder rippled. Your ability to synthesize different approaches, to find connections where none seemed possible, it proves why you were the perfect catalyst for change. Sarah walked to the center of the chamber, her neural interface connecting her to the expanded mesh network. Through it, she could feel the pulse of a galaxy awakening to new possibilities. Species that had been isolated for centuries were sharing knowledge, culture, and dreams of the future. We've created something unprecedented, she addressed the council. Not an empire, not a federation, but a true community of equals. Each species maintains their independence while choosing to work together. The chaos and order that the Concordat feared so much have found their own balance. The Thunderchild, visible through the windows as it orbited Luna, had been transformed. No longer just a warship, it now served as a symbol of the possible. Its quantum core adapted to power the new networks of cooperation and communication that were spreading across the galaxy. The first wave of cultural exchange programs has exceeded all expectations, David reported, now serving as the head of interspecies communications. Art, music, science, the cross-pollination of ideas is creating entirely new forms of expression. We're seeing collaborations that would have been impossible under the Concordat's regime. Through the quantum mesh, Sarah felt the excitement of countless beings as new discoveries were shared, new friendships were formed, and new possibilities were explored. The galaxy was healing, not through imposed order, but through chosen unity. We should remember this moment, she said to the assembled council. When the Concordat came to Earth, they saw our independence as a threat, our adaptability as a flaw, our diversity as a weakness. They never understood that these were the very things that would break their power and help build something better. The council chamber hummed with agreement as representatives of dozens of species shared their thoughts through the mesh. They had all learned the same lesson. True strength didn't come from domination or control, but from the willingness to embrace both chaos and order, to celebrate differences while finding common ground. As the sun set on Earth, casting golden light through the quantum glass windows, Sarah felt a deep sense of satisfaction. Humanity's first steps into the galactic community hadn't been marked by submission or conquest, but by liberation and unity. They had proved that the greatest adventures didn't come from forcing the universe to make sense, but from working together to explore its endless possibilities. The galaxy was entering a new age, and for the first time in centuries, its future was wonderfully, beautifully uncertain. Let me know if you'd like me to create the YouTube title and description for this story as well.